Hello again, Michael Ware with IFC's Warrior Wednesday. I have with me today a local gentleman, Andrew from Glocktopus Reviews. And before we get started, I want everybody to understand we're going to be discussing firearm reviews, social media influencers, all those kinds of things. It's kind of something that we're doing right now and on one level, or IFC's done for a while. But Andrew actually goes out, tests product, builds product, offers perspective, that kind of thing. And we've never had anybody on here before that's has spoken to those things. So we're really pleased to have him. So Andrew, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you.
Michael, I really appreciate you having me on the show. It's really cool. I'm a new resident here to Iowa. Just moved up here a few months ago for a new job. Mostly what I do is really honest gun reviews / information on accessories, different things that are in the 2A space. I try and bring those to people in a short form. A lot of people get long-winded with stuff. I try to be simple with it. That way you can get as much information that you really need to make an informed choice on items. And that's basically what I do with my channel. I also create content where I shoot pictures and make videos, and you see those on other channels, not just mine. Behind the scenes, kind of shoot stuff out to other groups and other companies, and they post that stuff on their channels. But yeah, that's really what I do.
Okay, so what got you started in doing this kind of thing? I'm curious.
So to be honest, I only started this because my wife, Shelby, really, I guess, egged me on to start the channel. I was getting really upset during COVID watching other people's content, and it was just really, really badly produced. I say badly produced because everything's in the eye of the beholder, but for me, the content that I wanted to consume, that there really wasn't a lot of that level of content. So she was like, hey, why don't you start doing it yourself? And I did, but it was really, really bad. When I look back on it now, I hate those videos. I don't take them down, but I was filming those videos at a kitchen counter with a GoPro. It's a lot different than what I have now.
You'd be surprised how far you could go with a GoPro. I mean, it's pretty amazing stuff. But anyway, go ahead. So you're at your kitchen, you're putting things together, and what, you decided, hey, I want to elevate my game, or what?
No, so weirdly enough, I was contacted by a couple companies, and I was supported heavily by Brownells, which is an Iowa company. They helped me with my channel and helped me actually grow with things that I needed to grow. And then I was able to focus on the things I needed to purchase for my channel to grow, the equipment I needed, to where now I have a full camera setup, full studio in my home that I'm building out currently right now, where I'm able to produce like great quality content that you'd find in a professional studio here in my house. So it's leaps and bounds different from what I used to do. I used to sit on the floor of my living room with a coffee table and a cell phone, and I would take pictures like that. And it's wild how that I've transitioned from that to where I am now in the 2A space.
Okay, so I think it's reasonable to ask this, and if you want to punt, that's fine. I'm not going to be upset with you. But what are social media influencers doing well, primarily, and what are they not doing well?
I think honestly, it's hard to judge other people in the type of content that they put out there, because everybody has a different type, different style. There are guys out there that are big 2A defenders that all they do is they're advocates for the 2A space. They put out news for the 2A space. They actually go and join the big companies, Second Amendment Foundation, GOA, and they travel with them and they help those guys out. Then you have guys that do nothing but reviews. You have guys that do nothing but photos in the background where they're creating that stuff online. So to say what they're doing right and wrong is, I couldn't really say what what others are doing wrong. I can say that a lot of people I see are doing right by the 2A. There isn't a lot of wrong. And when people do wrong in the 2A space, especially on social media, YouTube, Instagram, you get called out real quick if you're out there spouting stuff that really isn't what the Second Amendment is about and what gun ownership is about. If you're being unsafe, it really kind of, it's one of the spots in social media where it evens itself out. People won't watch your content. So I can't really say what people are doing wrong. I can say that I don't like when people just say something's good and they don't go to the range and they don't actually put the gun in their hands. They don't shoot it. It's just something that they got for free and they're like, "Hey, this is awesome." And I'm the complete opposite. I won't do that. If it's something I don't like, I've told companies straight out, I'm not going to review this item because it's something that I wouldn't purchase myself. So it's not beneficial for me or you as a company for me to actually have that item and to actually do a review for you.
Right. In the circles I'm traveling in, I'm not doing anything on video. Everything that I've done has been written reviews, that kind of thing. A couple of short videos, but that's not my forte. Maybe I should do that someday. I'm not doing it now. But anyway, my commitment to people when I review something and they send me something is very simple. I'll give you a thorough evaluation and I'll give the product a thorough run. That does not mean 2 magazines through it and now I can start typing, right? Because it's technically not a license. I've used it. No, I'm not going to do that. I want to actually use it. I'll even let customers take it outside the shop, out to the range. You try it. You tell me what you think. So that stuff's fine. But the commitment is I'll offer you an honest evaluation. And if it's a poor evaluation, I won't publish it. I will give it to you and you can use it for whatever you want. You can wipe your backside with it. You can use it for whatever it's worth, whether it's whatever I had to say was a small sample size and the only negative thing that you heard, so be it. You can use it to benefit the product or the quality control or whatever else. That's fine. But I'm not going to publish a review that bags on somebody. I don't think there's any value in. I'd rather have these guys make some adjustments, go back to drawing board, whatever else. And of course, if it is a review that's middle of the road or better, I'm willing to publish that. So that's kind of been what I have done. But I have people that come and ask me these questions, Andrew. What about this? What about that? And I just have to tell them the truth. Well, I couldn't tell you anything about it. I don't know. Well, you're a gunsmith, aren't you? Well, yeah, but I've only had a few through here, and they weren't here for anything that needed diagnosis or repair. So to be honest with you, since I haven't really used it, I'm not real comfortable saying I think it's good or it's bad or giving it some sort of tacit endorsement because I haven't run it. So there's a lot of people out there that'll be like, yeah, they're great. Well, how do you know that? Well, my buddy said they were. Well, I don't care about that, and I don't care about your buddy. So I want to have the skinny from somebody who's actually used this thing and not on the best of days. You got time for a quick story? Could I tell you one?
Sure, go right ahead.
Okay, all right. So many people offer like stippling and grip texture and that kind of stuff for prep pistols, right? And you see these guys get out. There's an entire fanboy base that follows this stuff, right? And the stuff that we do when we melt frames and we do stippling or whatever else, frankly, doesn't look very nice. I mean, yeah, it's okay, but I mean, it is an artwork. It's rough texture and it's designed so that the weapons don't slide around in your hand or whatever else. And then there's guys out there that do lasering and whatever else, and some of them they look nice. I know because I've had some done myself, but they don't. Not all offer much texture. They offer much grip. And so I hear these guys, oh, check this out. It's tactile. It blah, 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 blah. It does this, it does that. And so I'm like, no, it doesn't. And then you get an argument. Of course, on the internet, it's good for that, right? So anyway, I had a guy that got really critical with me, and maybe he was right to do that. I don't know. I don't happen to agree with him. But anyway, he says, that stippling stuff that you did on your Glock that you showed people, he says, it's pretty ugly. I'm like, yeah, well, beauty's in the eye of the beholder, number one. But number two, I want this thing to be less likely to flip around in your hand. He's like, okay, 9mm. How how much retention do you actually need? It's barely recoils more than a 22. And I'm like, well, first of all, that's not necessarily true. And second of all, I said, you ever had your hands covered with blood or snot or water or mud and you're rolling around in the dirt trying to defend yourself or somebody else? You ever done that? And then try to use one-handed or weak-handed? Have you ever done that? That's ridiculous. I'm like, no, dude. That's just what happens sometimes. And he's like, and how much blood have you had on your hands doing that? I'm like, none. I should consider that. So not that long ago, I screwed around and I almost cut the end of my finger off, right?
Oh, wow.
Here in the shop. I know this is kind of messed up. Anyway, it didn't heal very well, and I kept popping open every little whip stitch. And for whatever reason, dude, I mean, it would bleed like you got, cut on the head. I mean, lots of flow, that kind of stuff, and blood would flow freely for quite a while. And I'd have to kind of half tourniquet it to get it to stop, right? And I thought to myself, this is a golden opportunity to go outside with this Glock, and then one that isn't textured, and try them literally with blood, fresh blood, flowing all over my hands. Go out and use them. So I did that, and then I let it, start to do what it does, which is, get sticky and then turn dark and all the other things in between. And it was a tremendous experience. And what I found out is blood is exceedingly slippery when it's fresh. And now I can say that. And I tried it. And, oh, by the way, texture that is rough is your friend if you're covered in blood, let me tell you. So, but anyway, I wouldn't have been able to say some of that stuff or been able to offer that if I hadn't tried it myself. And I think that matters when people are looking at your reviews. Andrew, if you're saying this is what I've done, and this is the circumstance under which I've done it, then I would like to think that the review that you're offering at Glocktopus Reviews has some merit, or ought to have some merit. I mean, would you dispute that, or what are your thoughts on that?
Oh, I would, because my thing is about, if you look at my logo is simple, honest, and straightforward, right? I don't want any minced words. And when it comes to my reviews, it's about a 2-minute review on the new Springfield Echelon comp a couple weeks ago. And what I tell people at the end of that video is, I like it. Yes, it does. It reduces the recoil and the felt recoil of that pistol. It's something that I would use, I would carry, I would buy. But for other people, I tell them they need to go to the store and they need to put that pistol in their hand. You can't just go off of my word and order a gun off of a website because I say that it's good. Go to a store. You might have a store local to you, an Academy. Here in Iowa, we've got Brownells. You can go by the retail store there, pick up a gun, put it in your hand, see how it feels, present the gun, see if it's something that feels comfortable to you, and that can help you make your choice. Yes, I heard online that it's a great gun, that it reduces the recoil, that this guy likes it, but let me go put it in my hand and see if it feels great. And that's that extra level of, oh, well, yeah, let me go check this out. Let me buy it.
You mentioned Brownells. We've got on iowafc.org on our website, we've got an entire page of trusted partners, people that we have entered into agreements with that are offering tangible items, discounted products, program codes, all those different kinds of things for IFC members as an enhancement of membership. So I would encourage people to go there and take a look at that stuff. I know that you're very familiar with Brownells. I know you collaborate with them all the time. But and I see those things and I appreciate those, by the way. And it's hard for me to state how grand it is to have a business like Brownells right here in Iowa, next door to where you and I live, so you can work with these people, so they can supply you, so they can support you, and you can support them. It's absolutely fantastic. It would be hard for me to. At this point, it would be hard for me to move very far away from Brownells because it's so fast to get there, get what I need, and get home and get back to work. So I'm glad that we have them, and I'm glad they're a trusted partner and a continual Second Amendment supporter. Did you aim to work with them specifically, or how did you get linked up with Brownells? I'm curious.
So I started in the 2A industry. I've worked for a couple companies working in marketing, and just I don't know. I've always felt like Brownells was, I don't know, it's going to sound weird. I felt like it's home. like it. They treat people right. They do the 2A industry correctly, and it felt like a really good fit for me and my beliefs that I wanted to be aligned and integrated with a company like that. And it just has it's been the best thing ever. The relationship since the beginning has been one of the greatest things for my channel and for me personally developing. Just it's all around great stuff.
What about cautionary tales? You spend a lot of time on the range. If you're like anybody else and you spend enough time there, you're going to see a gun have a major malfunction or some sort of stoppage, something that makes you go, "Oh man, I'm glad I've got safety gear and I'm glad I use it." I mean, have you had any experiences like that yet?
Oh, multiple. I mean, I shoot almost every weekend. There's been instances where I've been hit by steel, not steel, the actual jacketing or spalling bouncing off of steel targets back at me. I've been hit on the cheek. I've been hit on the arms, legs, and all those times that happens to me, I'm super glad that I have my iPro on. I wear it's Gator Eyes, really, really nice sunglasses. I don't have them anywhere near me, but they're ballistically rated sunglasses, so you can use them at the range and not have to fumble or get a darker tinted pair of safety glasses. But that's one of the instances where I've been like super super glad that's happened. I've never been around where there's like actually I have been at the range where there's an ND where negligent discharge into the ground, somebody not paying attention. It's actually happened twice. That is a super super concerning thing when people do that, and you'd be surprised the people that actually have done that are people that you don't think would do it.
Mm.
And
it can happen. I think it's the law of averages, don't you?
If you shoot enough and you're around guns enough, you're bound to see something crazy happen with a gun. Speaking of the glasses, my wife just handed it to me. This is the safety glasses by Gator Eyes. They have a lifetime warranty, metal frame with nice lenses. And what's cool about these lenses is they have what's called an OPZ lens, where you can actually see your cell phone while you're holding these outside. And a lot of polarized sunglasses, when you look at your phone, you get that rainbow effect. With these, does not happen at all.
Where you pick them up?
GatorEyes.com, I believe. Okay.
All right. Maybe I just found somebody I need to reach out to as another IFC trusted partner. I don't know. It sounds like they're doing.
They make some quality sunglasses, and I am somebody who breaks a lot of sunglasses. I've broken a lot of sunglasses over the years to where I used to have a subscribe and save on Amazon for a pair of sunglasses that would get delivered every 6 months. And these I've had zero issues with them, and it's surprising because I am tough on them.
You know, as a younger man, which I'm not now, but as a younger man, I never really cared about things like sunglasses or watches because I would lose them about as often as I would buy them. Now I'm actually able to keep a few around for a while, so maybe Gator Eyes is worth looking into. I appreciate you mentioning that. Thank you.
100% American-made company, by the way.
All right. Okay. You know, let's go back to the negligent discharge thing. There are going to be a lot of people that are listening to this right now, and I'm not going to call them FUDs. I don't think that's probably fair, although it could be an appropriate moniker. The fact of the matter is there's a lot of people who are going to say, nope, there is no excuse for a negligent discharge, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And they're not wrong to think that. They're probably not wrong at all to state that. But I'm telling you, it truly appears to be the law of averages. I have talked with a lot of people who are exceedingly expedient with firearm use. I mean, people who have shot more rounds than you could fit in a semi-trailer. No joke. I mean, you know, people who've been in spec ops and they train every day and they shoot thousands and thousands of rounds routinely, daily. And they're like, hey, it eventually can happen. And if you're using good safety protocols and it does manage to be a negligent discharge, then you're less likely for something bad to actually result. But it can and does happen to the very best of us. And so I'm not making an excuse for that in any way. I'm not saying or endorsing it being okay, because it isn't. But I'm telling you, it does happen. And the other thing about it is what are you going to do about it? There's a lot of people that go to the range, and Andrew, they don't even take any safety gear with them. They don't even take any kind of, even a light med pack. And stuff does happen. It happens when you're hunting. You need to have those things. I mean, I can remember being with a guy who was field dressing a deer, and he almost cut his thumb off. I mean, it was just, how it is. He was sawing around on the inside of a carcass, and the next thing you know, it slipped, and he had an exceedingly sharp knife. And he's like, dude. And I'm like, what? And he pulled his hands out. And of course, you can't tell his from the deer's. And then I looked down at his thumb, and I'm like, oh, man, we got to get you somewhere in a hurry. And I didn't have anything. And so I didn't have any way to kind of stitch him up or keep him together. And so I wrapped him up I tore my shirt sleeve off, wrapped it around there, and we took him to the hospital. But I think that people aren't very prepared for things like that, and they ought to be. There's no reason that you can't invest a little bit of money for some safety there.
Not to cut you off, but when I go to the range, I'm that guy. I carry a case with Ear Pro. I at least have 5 extra sets of Ear Pro with me at the range. I have extra Eye Pro with me at the range. I carry medical with me at the range. And while we're shooting, I actually tell people that bag sitting right there behind you, green bag, is the medical bag. If something happens, everything that we need is inside of that bag. And everybody really appreciates that, because I have never gone to the range where somebody's like, hey, I don't have Ear Pro. I don't have Eye Pro. I'm like, nope, here you go.
Well, sounds like my dad. I mean, when he was alive, you can count on. I mean, it's almost, I wouldn't say it was no MacGyver-ish, but darn close. I mean, the guy had every trinket there was, and he made good use of them. And, he would have a med pack in every vehicle, everywhere he went. So there was always, the appropriate gear, or mostly appropriate gear. And I appreciate that. At first, I did not. But after I'd seen some of that stuff used and witnessed scenarios where it was sprung into action and used effectively, tremendous change in my attitude regarding preparedness and those kinds of things, no doubt.
Always have to have medical with you. Always. The people watching this podcast right now, buy a medical kit. They're not expensive. You can go out there and spend $100. There's some for $75. North American Rescue makes some good packs that has everything in it that you need. Have one of those kits in the trunk of your car. You won't regret it. There's been times where people ask for something. Hey, you got a Band-Aid, or do you have this? Yes. Yes, I have it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of funny. We're talking about this. IFC's partnered with one of our trusted partners, Mountain Man Medical, and they make us 2 specific packs just for IFC members. And you can go on there and use a discount code to get those. I think one of them is an ankle kit that you can strap on. It goes under your jeans or whatever else. And I think another one is just a standard, similarly sized kit. But we put those on our cars now behind the passenger headrest. So the driver could reach over with their arm at any given moment and get what they needed out of there, even if they were pinned in with their seat belt or whatever else. And so I think those are good ideas. And it's good to have that stuff. So I was going to ask you, and we kind of chased a little bit of another rabbit, which is fine. But I was going to ask you, what's been your least favorite experience about doing what you're doing? Range, shooting, video, whatever else. I mean, what's been your least favorite experience?
I'd say least favorite is just you really have. I can't. It's good and bad, but you really have to grind at this. If you choose this as a job, if you choose that you're going to be a social content creator, don't just think that you're going to hop out there and people are going to send you stuff for free. It does not happen. You really have to go out there and show your worth. You have to show your art, show that what you bring to the table is something that actually helps companies. I did a lot of work. I did a lot of groundwork from the beginning. I messaged tons of companies when I started back during COVID. Nobody would send me anything. No one. And I wasn't mad at that. It's understandable. There were a couple companies that sent me stuff. They're like, yes, here, or I'm going to send this out to you. Do a review. Appreciate you. And to this day, some of those companies are the greatest relationship I have in the industry because they sent me stuff when I was nobody, when I had 400, 500 followers. So that the grind sucks. That I don't like that you have to do that. But when you do it, when you actually grind and you actually do what you need to, things pay off. They really do.
I've got my wife and I adopted kids. We created it, or we shouldn't say we. God created our family a little bit late. All right. So a lot of the people my age, our children, are up and out. You know, they've gone through college, whatever else. That's not uncommon. So we'll go over their houses, you know, and their kids who are in their early 20s, where my kids are in their teens and 11 years old, right? They'll talk about, oh, I'm going to stop what I'm doing that I was trained for and my college, and I'm going to become a social media influencer. I want to be an influencer. And I'm like, of course, as a small businessman, you know, you're talking to the CEO of the company right now, Andrew. You're also talking to the guy that scrubs the floors. You know, I'm the shipping and receiving guy. I'm the billing guy. I'm the guy that's got to go twist arms when the bills aren't paid, right? All of that. So, and so I have to take care of marketing and social media on a daily basis. I can't not do it. It has to be done, right? So I sit there and listen to these guys, and they're saying things like, this is routine. And I know you've heard it. You're probably going to chuckle. Oh, all you really need is one viral video, and you're made. And I'm sitting there going, dude, no, it does not work like that. One viral video might get you out there just a little bit. But you know what you really need after that one viral video? You need 50 or 80 more. You know, so I mean, they say things like that. No.
What was the quote? Fame is fleeting.
Yeah.
It's only for a little bit. 15 minutes of fame.
You know, here's I haven't even gone back to go look at it because it's run its course. I seriously doubt that very many people are seeing it at all. Probably none. But I had a video that, and it was stupid. I mean, I had my cell phone up there in front of a BRN4. Mm-hmm. I'm wrong. It wasn't BRN4. It was something like that though. And I couldn't get the suppressor to slide over the QD and attach properly. And I wasn't cussing, but I was half, you know, garbling under my breath, you know, type of thing. And I finally got it, you know, and that was it. It was 15 seconds of me struggling, getting a can installed and indexed and tightened down. That was it. And I couldn't tell you what happened. I don't know if the algorithm broke on old Zuck for a few minutes or not. I don't know. But the next thing you know, 3 weeks later, I don't know how many million views it was, like 52,000 comments. You know, I mean, really something big time like that. I mean, I stopped even trying to keep up with replying to comments. I mean, I can't do that. I mean, a few hundred, maybe 1,000, possibly several thousand. There's no way. You know, what's kind of funny about it, I had a friend of mine say, oh, you're made, dude. That's all you got to do. And I'm like, okay. Andrew, guess how many sales resulted from that? Take your wildest guess.
Zero.
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 None. Yeah, no, I was like, and so I had a friend of mine. I mean, he's a good buddy of mine. He has a gun shop. I'll mention him. He's a IFC trusted partner too. Elliot Farrell from Farrell's Lead Farm, you know, and he called me up and was like, oh, he says, I see you sold your soul to Satan. He said, what kind of Faustian bargain did you make? You know, and we were joking. And he's like, you're going to be sorry for having that. And I said, why? He's like, all you're going to get is Facebook scrutiny. He said, you're probably only going to get the Facebook police watching you. He's like, you're not going to make any money. And he said, you're probably going to be sorry that it even happened. I said, I'll get out of here with that. He wasn't wrong. It wasn't much later than all kinds of red flags. I had to jump through all kinds of hoops, reevaluate every video, every photograph I'd ever taken, every post I ever made, every little word that I had used. And it took me days to comb through from, I don't know when it was, 2008 or 10 or 6 or whatever it was to now, to go back through all that. It was not as simple as saying, I'm going to be an influencer and all you need is one viral video. That is not what doing what you do is, Andrew. So, I know that.
to add on top, right, of not just having a video go viral, I have a full-time, this is a business. This isn't just a hobby for me. There's a lot more things behind the scenes that go with Glocktopus reviews. I don't know if people know, I actually me and my wife decided that I was going to get a federal firearms license. Why? I'm receiving. Yes, I ask myself the same thing all the time, but do I hate it? It sucks having to keep up with paperwork, but it's something that you have to do that I want to keep me and my family safe, right? I'm receiving numerous guns in a year, receiving guns. That doesn't look good on paper, especially when you live. I came from Texas. So in Texas, when you pick up more than 2 guns, it automatically goes onto a sheet that you're picking up or purchasing more than 2 firearms. And that gets reported directly to the ATF. It happens, I believe, in all the border states on the southern border that FFLs have to do that. So I was getting to the point where it made me super, I wouldn't say nervous, but I was starting to get to that point where I was feeling really cautionary, to where I wanted to make sure that I was checking every single box, that I was being legal getting these guns in, because it is a business. Some of these entities send me guns and it's not for reviews, it's for testing and evaluation. That's another thing, where they send out a pre-production sample and they're like, hey, go run the snot out of this gun and tell me what's wrong with it. So that's a whole nother aspect of getting the FFL. If I need to make modifications, gunsmithing, things that I need to do to items, I'm able to do that. And I'm not flying by the seat of my pants in my mom's basement. This is a 100% legit business for me.
Yeah. It's a tremendous amount of commitment. And you mentioned time. I know that you guys are spending buku hours. I mean, I'd be willing to bet if most spouses knew what the other half was getting into when they said, I want to go down this road, I want to chase this brass ring, most of them would either A, knock their spouse in the head, or B, say, are you sure you want to do this? Because it is hard and it requires a ton of time, and it's not completely thankless. It's very rewarding, depending. But it's hard and it requires a lot of time. This is not a 40-hour-a-week job, and it is not Monday through Friday. I mean, I have hours that I keep for my business just because of the way things are. But the truth of the matter is, when you're trying to work a job and then trying to work this job in tandem, I mean, you're going to have 70 or 80-hour weeks routinely. That's the way it is.
It is. And I
there
have
are a lot of people out there
job.
Can't even. Yeah, I know. So, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, people don't understand just how dedicated you're going to need to be in order to build something. And then, Andrew, you know it. I know you know it. So you built it. Doesn't make any difference. You got to work to keep it. You don't keep followers. You don't keep people who are watching you unless you keep doing the work.
You have to keep posting. It's the one thing I heard when I first started in social media content creation. I was at IV8888, and I walked up to Mr. Guns and Gear. I had never met him. I'd only watched his videos for a super long time. And I walked up to him, his name's Mike, and I'm like, hey, it's nice to meet you. Is there anything that you can give me as a bit of advice for my channel, for social media content creation? What would be your number one piece of advice? And he looked at me and he said, consistency is key. And to this day, me being consistent with posting content, being consistent with creating content, with talking to vendors, talking to manufacturers, that continually showing up is what actually helps you in this industry. being that guy that's like, gimme, 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 and then you disappear into the shadows, and then you come back and you're gimme, 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 that doesn't work. And a lot of people don't understand that the gun industry is not as big as you think it is. It's very small, and all of us talk. So the people, you start doing the gimme, 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 it gets around, and people hear about it, and that's why I say you got to do the grind. You have to actually show up continually.
Yeah, that's true. That's the way with everything in life. And this is no different. I think that there's a draw towards being an influencer because it looks posh and fun. Well, there are posh and fun aspects of it. Absolutely, no doubt. But it requires a ton of work. And very few people understand that until you start to do it. But we've talked briefly about some of the things that were hard or challenging. So what's been the most rewarding?
The most rewarding has been that I've been able to advance my career. I've been able to learn things that I didn't think I'd be able to learn about creating content. I didn't go to college to create content. I didn't get a degree to do this job. I learned how to make videos in high school and stuck with it and decided, hey, that was a passion for me. If you go all the way back to my childhood and look at pictures of me, I have cameras in my hand taking photos like on trips with my parents. So it was really a no-brainer for me to like really lean on this passion. And that's been the biggest thing for us. It's changed our lives. And it sounds cliche, but it's not. It really has.
All right. So what's coming down the pike that we need to know about?
Coming down the pipe that we need to know about. So I am finishing up my studio here in my house, and I'm going to start cranking out a lot more content. I've got a lot of stuff lined up, a lot of cool things, a couple things I can't talk about right now, but some cool stuff that I want to get out there and shared with everybody. I'm ready to get back to the grind of creating stuff. Having to move 1,000 miles to Iowa is really, really hectic and hard. I can't just pick up I literally tore down a studio where I lived in a house for 4 years and boxed everything up and then moved here with no studio. So I have to rebuild and get back out there and start creating these videos. So it's a lot of my content right now is outdoors, which is fine. I can really lean on that, but I'm ready to get back in my studio and creating the like tabletop reviews where people can see in-depth stuff on guns. Other than that, what's coming, I can't say there's anything super cool, but yeah, SHOT Show is coming up in January, the rotating clock, as it always does. And I'm excited to go see what's brand new coming out there, because there are a few companies I know of that have some really cool stuff in the works.
Yeah, that seems like, I mean, I have some people that I visit with that are really critical of SHOT Show these days. They're like, it's kind of silly to try and bombard the industry with a whole bunch of pre-sales or bulk sales and then all kinds of new product dropping all at once. It would probably be better for the industry and for the consumer if it were spread out over the year itself. I don't think that that's a bad statement. I don't think I disagree with that, but I'm seeing now the innovations are coming very quickly. There's stuff that's being debuted all the time. Now, everybody wants to have something big to offer at SHOT if they can, or if that's the way that they're headed. And I realize that, so I look forward to it. But there is a lot of cool stuff that's coming out routinely.
Oh, all the time.
I mean, if there wasn't, John Patton wouldn't have anything to do 50 weeks of the year.
60-second gun news.
I know it. I know. He's a fun guy. I like him. What else is okay? So we covered what might be coming down the pipe. You're not going to share any trade secrets, and you're not going to give us the skinny. I had to ask. I knew you weren't going to, but I had to ask. That's another thing in the industry. When somebody tells you to keep a secret, you've got to keep the secret. And so I appreciate that. Way to go.
Oh, you do, because if you share it, They know where it came from.
Boop, you're gone.
Yeah.
Persona non grata. Yes.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, is there anything else? I mean, I know that we've discussed this quite a bit, but Andrew, I know that you're a busy guy. I know that you've made the trek. Oh, that's something I want to ask you about before you go. You got a few more minutes?
Yeah, for sure. Go ahead.
Okay, so you moved for the purpose of employment from Texas to Iowa, but are you finding that Iowa's gun laws are better than Texas?
I would say Iowa gun laws are just about on par with Texas. I'd say gun laws in Texas are a lot more free. I'm
Really?
I'm former law enforcement in Texas, and there's constitutional carry down there, and there's constitutional carry up here. And I may be incorrect, but from what I've read, if you constitutionally carry here in Iowa and you're driving in a car, it cannot be on your person.
That's wrong.
It can be. Is that wrong?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can conceal carry constitutionally here in Iowa.
Yeah, and unlike most states in the nation, that whatever you carry as a weapon is up to you. I mean, if you want to carry if you want to strap on an AK-47 and walk around open, you can do that.
Oh,
you can conceal your pistol. Yeah, all that stuff. So I mean, you're not relegated. Like for example, if you chose to use a permit, and I do encourage that because it does check the box for the gun-free school. I can't remember what national or federal code that is, 18 USA something, I don't remember. But it does check the box for that so that you're not in any danger of driving past a school and getting pitched for something like that. But
1,000 feet within a school here in Iowa, right?
Yeah, everywhere in the nation. Yeah, that's a federal code. But the Iowa permit to carry qualifies for that exemption or exception rather. But what's kind of funny is you'll have people say, oh, okay, so I need to get my conceal and carry permit. I'm like, no, dude, it's not a concealed carry permit. It's a permit to carry weapons. And oh, by the way, you can carry any weapon you want, any way that you want. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, nope. You can carry anything you want. Doesn't matter.
So, funny story. When I moved here, I did all the switch, registration on the car, driver's license, all the things. I went to the sheriff's department to inquire about the LTC, or the license to carry here in Iowa. I said, here's my one from Texas. Here, boom. Can we do a quick swap? The lady looked at me and she goes, no. And I said, okay, what does it require? She goes, well, you need to go take a class and then you need to come submit it to us. And then we'll look at your application and then we'll issue you one. The easy thing for me was I'm licensed in Texas. I can still renew my license from Texas. Being an Iowa resident, it's a non-resident license to carry. But what that gives me is my LTC has the reciprocity of any state that Texas has reciprocity with, and allows me to carry with a actual license here in Iowa. So that was a choice I was able to make, which was really cool. I don't have to go through with getting an Iowa one, but yeah, really cool. I recommend having a license to carry to people. You don't have to have one. You're constitutionally allowed to carry a gun. The Second Amendment says you can carry a gun. Does it look better on paper when you go to court? From what I've seen, yes. When you have an LTC, it's like a lot of guys are purists. No, don't get one. You should be able to carry a gun. Yes, you should, but it's not really hard to get one, and I got one, and it allows me to travel with a clear conscience when I go to other states, that I'm not going to have an issue. I'm not going to get pinned up with my wife when we're in a rental car. I get pulled over for accidentally doing something dumb, and they want to put me in jail while I'm away from home. No, I don't want to run into those problems.
Yeah. No, I understand why a lot of people want one. I keep one for the purposes of expediency. And maybe Well, it is what it is. But I am a purist. I mean, I happen to believe that you obviously don't need a scrap of paper. And I know why the Second Amendment was formed and the warning that it's associated with it. And, I'm almost at the point now where I would say, you graduate from high school and you're sound mind and body. Here's your M16. I wish you the best, So that's kind of where I'm at now. I'm like, yeah, I think every man, woman, and responsible child should be able to walk into a grocery store and buy a gun and leave.
18-year-olds can carry guns and shotguns.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Done. Okay. Well, I think this is a good spot to end on. So anyway, everybody, this is Andrew. He's with the Glocktopus Reviews. Tell us where we can find your content quickly and easily, and how we can follow you.
Right here on the bottom of the screen, you can see it says at Glocktopus Reviews. On most platforms, that's going to be on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Search Glocktopus Reviews. I believe on Facebook there may be a space between the two, but that's usually the tag on all of my platforms. You can pull up all my videos. Go ahead and give me a follow and subscribe. I try and bring really super honest content to you guys. If you ever see anything wrong on my channel, call me out. It happens. Sometimes I'm wrong. You're not always right.
So, like, if we catch you shooting the gun upside down, we're supposed to say something?
I mean, I'm not fancy like that.
Okay, all right. All right. I've seen him do it. I've seen him at the range. I've seen him do it just to see if they can do it. I'm like, okay, fine. You're going to shoot something off.
I like to hold the gun the right way. Even the Rhino, the Chiappa, makes me feel weird because it's upside down.
Yes, I know. That's one of those guns that I'm like, I probably should own that, but I haven't been able to bring myself to it yet. But one of these days. Anyway, Andrew, thank you for your time. Glocktopus Reviews. Check out what's going on there. Watch the honest reviews. And as Andrew mentioned earlier, I appreciate that they don't take 28 minutes, although there are times when you may want that. But the down and dirty, so that you can get the overview and understand whether I should put time and energy into researching this gun or not. Glocktopus Reviews is a fantastic place to find that origin, to wet your whistle for what you're looking at. So thank you for doing the work. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, Michael, I really appreciate having me on the podcast, and I enjoy being here in Iowa, and I look forward more to having talks with you.
Fantastic. We'll see you at all of our functions, man. Thanks again.
Awesome. Thanks.